The autumn wind is a league, holding the treasures ye may seek. Have some fun and play along, whether for a day or for a week. Seek advice from a sage, or battle straight up. Square off in a cage, or joust without a cup. It's a FanDuel. Is it your favorite you take, or make the logical play? Will your foes stand before you and quiver and quake, as you will be crowned prince for a day? The autumn wind may be a casual player, FanDueling just to talk trash. But there will be those that will play, that will be able to say, I've got my hands on some cold, hard cash.
Hello and welcome to the Box Scores FanDuel Draft Day. I'm Brock here in Los Angeles from our very own Red Zone set, joined by the Danettes who are in Milford, have their lineups, and they're all ready to get you set for Week 15. Seton, you've had back-to-back weeks where you were a runner-up to McLovin. Is it going to take some sort of shenanigans to reclaim the top spot?
Sorry we're laughing. We're just, Brock, we're talking about Key and Peele. I know we got to get to FanDuel. Don't you love Key and Peele? Didn't you love those guys? As you're a comedian.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
love
how
those guys.
impressed were they?
They were great. They were great. I love them.
You ever seen them in person or work with them? Or did your sister ever work with them?
I saw, I don't know, who's the shorter one? Peele or Key?
Good question. He was online at Starbucks, though, once.
Key is a shorter guy.
Okay, I saw him in Las Vegas.
Keel.
Yes, nice guy. He had a drink in his hand, and he was talking to, I believe, Paulie Walnut from The Sopranos. But I was shuttled away.
If we're doing a fantasy comedy draft, those guys right now are probably pretty high.
A lot of upside, young. Now they split up though. Who knows what's going to happen? All right, back to you, Brock. Sorry.
Anywho, yeah, you know what? I think beating McLovin, it really comes down to just one pick. I mean, if I had just made, I think I was less than 10 points behind you. I mean, both weeks. So it's a matter of just like, man, one person performing a little better. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That's all it takes. All right, let's take a look at the official standings in the Man Cave from Week 14. McLovin took the top spot, followed by Seton.
Not taking Travis
Todd
Kelce.
Fritz was as middle as the road as it gets. They're seen right in the middle in both the Man Cave and the entire league. The boss came in fourth, followed by Paulie. McLovin and Seton are now tied with 4 first-place finishes. Fritzy, who do you think will finish with more at the end of the season?
I'm gonna go Seton only because I see it down the stretch, in the pressure in the final weeks that McLovin's gonna overthink things a little too much, and he's gonna have like a winning ticket, and then he's gonna make some changes at the last minute.
McLovin, he called you a choker in long words.
I think Seton's getting in McLovin's head a little bit, and because the added pressure that McLovin feels, being the NFL guru and Sports Illustrated NFL writer that he is, he's gonna change some initial thoughts into wrong ones, and that's gonna put Seton just ahead for at least one more first-place finish.
Time will
Not
tell.
bad analysis.
Yes,
Not
Week
bad
14
analysis.
was a great week for you, McLovin, and many others thanks to the people on this man's list. Paulie, give us your finger-licking good picking.
Odell Beckham, not a big, Junior, not his father. 7 catches, 166, 2 TDs. This guy is kind of a sure thing these days. He isn't because, they do target him a ton. He's got twice as many catches than anyone else on the roster, but that offense can be pretty spotty. But there's no reason not to have him. He may be a little overpriced going into this week. Todd Gurley is back, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Baller.
He had a catch, 27 points. Gurley has been the guy, if you rode him all season, you probably had 2 bad weeks once he started. Not the best player in all of fantasy football this year, but from what you expected from him, what you got, he got a lot. James Starks, here's a guy. He's a guy.
He is a guy.
I like him.
this guy,
Fans like him, but you cannot count on him in a fantasy league. He had 71 yards, a touchdown, 4 catches, 32 yards, a touchdown, and I'll bet you most people did not have them on the roster. I would love to see the percentage of people who had James Starks because he does not get the ball a lot. They still try to give it to Eddie Lacy. I don't know if I would buy this guy going forward, but he had a hell of a good weekend. Fritzy, bust it up.
All right, bust of the week. One I got to get off my chest. I'm not counting this as one of my 2 main busts of the week, but Sebastian Janikowski, 1 point. So I got doubly screwed by the Raiders coming back against the Broncos, and 1 point from the kicker. Not that kickers give you a lot of points, but and I don't think that would have been the difference.
Fritzy, is there a way for a kicker to have less than 1 point?
Leave it to me. I'd find a way to probably get.
Yeah,
if
he throws an interception.
There you go.
Okay.
That's minus points.
So yeah, 1 point out of Janikowski. But the 2 we're going to actually go with for the bust of the week, Devontae Freeman, a player who was close to a sure thing about a month ago. I actually have him coming up this week, but we'll get to that. Cooled off, especially last week with only 40 yards on the ground, 22 receiving. Add on a fumble loss, and you get 5.7 fantasy points.
That's not going to help anybody.
That's just not going to get it done. That's why that was a bust. My other bust, Calvin Johnson, a.k.a. Megatron. The Rams' D played the role of Optimus Prime, shutting down the Lions receiver, holding him to 1 catch for 16 yards, which amounts to only 2.1 points on the fantasy front. Again, not a sexy pick at all. 2 disappointments, Devontae Freeman and Calvin Johnson. And again, Raider Sebastian Janikowski. Now it's time to see the picks no one saw coming as Seaton brings you his breakthrough rockstar.
Hit the script.
This guy was hitting the hole the way Fritzy hit that script right there, okay? Let me tell you about a guy named Isaiah Crowell, okay? Cleveland Browns, okay? This guy right here, okay? 145 yards, okay? 2 touchdowns, got you 27.9 points, okay? It wouldn't have helped Fritzy's team much. I don't think so. I would like to know the percentage of people that had him starting, because I, to be honest with you, never even heard his name until I sat down here and, Isaiah Crowell. Wow, that's the guy. Okay.
He's an NFL player.
Clue. Yeah, he played in the NFL. He went to college, too. Paul knew where. He's like, oh, yeah, he washed out of Georgia and then...
Alabama State.
Alabama State. How about that?
ASU.
Crowell. Crowell. Hey, McLovin, what was your system-breaking quarterback?
You know him, you love him. Russell Wilson Jr. the third. Dude, I don't know what people are like. People are talking about him as a top-tier quarterback today. Russell Wilson in his entire life has never thrown the ball like this. 5 touchdowns like every week. It's insane what he's doing right now.
See, this is so pejorative.
Dude, he has 15 touchdowns and 0 picks. Like, look at his numbers career. That's half of
He's averaging 25. He's extremely pejorative. Erroneous on all counts. He averages 25 touchdowns a year the past 4 years.
Dude, he has 15 touchdowns in 3 games. Do the math. That's
right, but what I'm saying is, you're acting like it's a shock that he throws touchdown passes.
I'm not saying he's averaged about 1.8 touchdowns per game his entire career, and he's throwing 5 a game.
He averages more touchdowns per game than Andrew Luck.
Do you understand, Paulie, that he's throwing 5 a game? Do you realize how far? That's over 200% more than he has for his career. So wouldn't that be an anomaly?
Who do you think from week to week is a better fantasy pick, assuming Andrew Luck is healthy? Russell Wilson or Andrew Luck?
Paul, you got to drop the Andrew Luck thing.
How come you never answer my question?
You got to drop that. You got to drop it. You got to move on.
Will you answer the question? You're an expert.
Okay, last year when he was healthy, Andrew Luck.
Oh, so 1 year out of 4, you would take Andrew Luck, and the other 3 years you would have taken.
Paulie, do you realize that the Seahawks were in the bottom 5 in passing last year?
Efficiency or total yardage?
Total yardage.
Oh, yardage is cool. Yeah, that's a yardage. What
They were one
suckers
away
get
from winning the Super Bowl.
Last time I remember, yardage counts in fantasy, and aren't we talking fantasy
What about
here?
turnovers? Where do they count? Because Andrew Luck is a turnover machine. Jay Cutler just called and said, you want to get a turnover, call Andrew Luck.
Paulie, if you love Russell Wilson so much, why don't you marry him?
It's not love,
Yeah,
it's
set
quality
these guys up
analysis.
on a date. All right, solid breakdown there from the guys.
serious.
We will settle this on the other side of the break. Don't go away. It's time to set the table for Week 15 with Paulie and Fritzy's lineups. And if you want to win your fantasy truck league, ride the Ram 1500 EcoDiesel to victory. This bad boy can climb a hill, haul a trailer, and brings home fantasy championship after fantasy championship. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. Good job, Eric. Welcome back to Box Scores FanDuel Draft Day. It's time to get ready for Week 15. But first, let's reveal the Danettes challenge for this week. McLovin, what do you got?
All right, Brock, we borrowed one of your suggestions.
You're welcome.
You have to take a player who dated a celebrity at some point. Or is still dating a celebrity. I don't know. I read Us Weekly every week, so I can tell you who's with who.
I mean, and who wore it better? I mean, those arguments never get finished. All right, allow me to throw one in the mix, if you will. You have to select a quarterback who has beaten both Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Paulie, do any names come to mind with a challenge like that?
Well,
Well, if not Russell Wilson, he's going to, so I guess you could just take him now.
Very good. All right, it's time to reveal the guys' lineups. Starting with Paul Paps. Tell us who you got this week.
Shocker, Russell Wilson is my starting quarterback this week. Riding while he's hot. Also, dates a celebrity, Ciara. Takes care of that. David Johnson having a very good year for the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to put up some numbers, and he's one of the more underrated guys this year, rookie running back. Lamar Miller, he's hot and cold. I still like him. I thought he was a good deal at $6,700. Amari Cooper, wide receiver. Danny Amendola, wide receiver. Larry Fitzgerald. Gary Barnidge. Gary Barnidge, he's been very popular this year. I always want to put Barn Ridge. Yeah, I think you should change it into Barn Ridge. It'd be a lot easier for everybody. Steven Gostkowski, he has never missed an extra point in his career. That's pretty impressive. And the Seattle Seahawks defense, I spent a little more money on the defense because I always go cheap on defense, and it hasn't really worked for me.
I can tell you right now, I'm picking Paulie's team to win because I had a mental note at night. I said, make sure you pick Johnstone, Arizona. He's going to be the key to winning. And then I forgot the next day.
I actually have a lot of confidence in my team this year. This is the most confidence I've ever had.
Good team.
That means I'll finish in 4th.
Yeah.
Paulie, why not go with the Panthers? They're also on fire on defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's a coin flip. I just think that Manziel could give one up. I always think, who's a quarterback who can give me a pick 6? Castle, Matt Schaub is a sure thing. I mean, if Schaub's starting in the game, I'm picking, any defense that goes against him. And Manziel, I think Manziel's going to have a little more chance to move this week, but he's going against a whole new animal in that defense, and I don't think he's going to be able to cruise down the field.
All right. Time to turn now to the captain of the middle of the road. Todd Fritz, give us your team, please.
I got a few the same as Paulie. I also went with Russell Wilson, Ciara's boyfriend against the Browns. Devontae Freeman, I went to see if he can redeem himself after being one of my busts of the week against the Jaguars, so I'm going with Freeman. DeMarco Murray is my second running back going up against the Cardinals. For my wide receivers, I went Allen Robinson, Larry Fitzgerald, who I know Paulie grabbed as well. Stephon Diggs is my third wide receiver. At tight end, I went Travis Kelce. Don't have big expectations for him, but I only had $6,000 left, and that's exactly what Travis Kelce costs.
That's not going to inspire any confidence if he's watching.
No, not really. Hopefully he'll just ignore me if he's paying attention. Blair Walsh kicking for the Vikings against the Bears, and I also spent the big bucks, all $5,400 worth on the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Now, last week, did you have any Broncos on your roster?
I did. I had
on this roster here?
This week, I do not have any Broncos.
Because last week you said you would probably pick a Bronco every week going forward.
Yeah, I did. I'm so thoroughly disappointed and upset with what happened, blowing a 12-0 lead, losing 15-12. I decided to go no Broncos. The other thing is I usually like to have 7, 8, even 9 different games represented, even if I have to pick someone that's not who I really want, just to have as many more games spread out with the guys. But I only have 5 games this particular week. I don't know if this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but of the 9 that I picked, only 5 games worth of.
How close to the 500 spot out of 1,000 do you think you'll come this week?
I can see
somewhere in the 400 to 600.
Well, I was 499. I'm gonna finish 512.
Oh, nice.
512.
Even it out a little bit.
512.
And hopefully Larry Fitzgerald gets more than 1 or 2 points. All right, we've got 2 lineups all set. And remember, if you want to play a 1-week fantasy football against Dan and the Danettes, just go to FanDuel.com/Patrick and enter the promo code Patrick for a 100% deposit match up to $200 on new accounts, $5 to enter, and winners get instant cash as soon as the contest ends. That's FanDuel, the leader in one-day fantasy sports. Stick around, we've got Seton and McLovin's lineups on deck, and given the tear they've been on, you do not want to miss their picks. Oh, we're back here on the Box Scores FanDuel Draft Day. McLovin has been on fire the last couple of weeks, finishing first in the Man Cave 3 out of the last 4 weeks. Seton, what would you put your money on here? One of you runs the table with first place Man Cave finishes, or one of you finishes dead last in the league?
For just 1 week dead last, I would put our money on that. I don't see anybody running the table with first place finishes. That's almost impossible. Okay. It'd be nice to do that. But yeah, I would put. I'm pretty sure that I'm either first or last with my lineup every week. So.
All right. Well, he's been a bridesmaid the past 2 weeks. Will we see him up at the altar, all dressed in white? Seton, who's on your roster?
I also took Russell Wilson Jr. III. I also took David Johnson Jr. III. I've got D'Angelo Williams Jr. the third, Jeremy Maclin Jr. the third, Julio Jones is going to have a monster week Jr. the third, Sammy Watkins. I've got Jordan Reed at my tight end. Matt Prater's going to Prate is my kicker. And I like the San Francisco 49ers defense against the super confident Jay McCarron.
I'm giving up.
See, is there any other quarterback that satisfies that dating a celebrity that you did not take?
Tuami.
Aaron Rodgers.
Dating.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, Tuami. I mean, doesn't that come with like your contract? Is like, oh yeah, you're the star quarterback. You're starting great. Here's your celebrity girlfriend.
Olivia Munn. Oh my goodness. All right, on to the man who's been crushing it lately, and I believe has a crush on Olivia Munn. McLovin, who's going to keep that hot streak going for you?
Okay, well, like everybody, I started with Russell Wilson Jr. the third.
Wow.
Although
all went with him.
I have to tell you, I was looking hard at Cam Newton because Cam Newton's the reason I've been in first place the last few weeks. He's the sole reason. But Russell Wilson, better matchup, and he's at home. Jeremy Hill, I'm hoping with McCarron in there, they'll run him a lot. I just decided, you know, what the heck? Adrian Peterson, I haven't taken him all season.
Right.
Doug Baldwin is obviously red hot. Willie Snead, I mean, he is just...
And he plays in the NFL?
He's definitely in the NFL.
Okay.
And then I didn't even remember I took Jarvis Landry. Like Paulie, I took Gary Barnidge. Now, Caleb Sturgis is an interesting story. Sit back and let me tell you this. I had Blair Walsh, and then I was like, you know what? I should check the weather in Minnesota.
Ooh.
Oh, Fritzy, I got bad news, my friend. I got bad news.
Weather report.
It's coming down hard.
You call your guy?
I called my guy.
Andy.
You were looking live in Minnesota, where it is going to be 38 and kind of cloudy.
But maybe the bad weather will be harder to get touchdowns and you're going to have to
38 cloudy is like July.
Yeah. And then I went with the Pates defense. Interesting choice there.
Real quick question now. You completely hate Russell Wilson on and off the field, but you picked him for your team. What's that about? That seems odd.
And one of his receivers.
Oh, my gosh. So anyone who loves Russell Wilson less than Paulie, which is actually less than Romeo loved Juliet, doesn't love Russell Wilson. Great. That's fair enough
Who's
to
the
say.
Juliet in that situation, Paul or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson. He's on the balcony with
Oh,
Paulie.
he is the
calling out.
Juliet.
No, I'm older and I've had a longer career.
So what does that mean?
I don't know.
I believe the Capulets had the longer career in that. McLovin, you got Gary Barnidge in the tight end spot this week. Any concerns taking him with the Browns facing that Seahawk D?
Well, it's interesting you say that because the Seahawks D has put up some goose eggs, but everyone knows tight ends can attack the Seattle defense. I actually crunched the numbers of how tight ends have done over the last 7 weeks. They've averaged 9.7 fantasy points over the last 7 weeks. On the season, 11.4 fantasy points. There's definitely an opening. When Seattle's going too safety high in the A-gap/B scheme,
If you're making that up, I'm impressed. And if you're not making that up, I'm impressed.
I do know it's a fact that you can attack Seattle with tight ends.
Is your tight end facing Seattle?
Yes.
He is.
Gary Barnidge. But you know what? The tight end was hard this week. Did anyone else get stuck on tight end?
Tight end is always the worst.
Yeah.
It's literally the guy that
Whenever
gets
I
the
had
worst
left
for me.
it.
Well, Eifert's all messed up, and Eifert's got a concussion. We were all. I heard us actually in the man cave. Everyone was saying, "Hey, who are you guys going for tight end?" There's a lot of tight end chatter this weekend. When in doubt, go Gary Barnidge. Duh.
Of the Barnages. All right, don't go away. The boss is in desperate need of a bounce-back week. His lineup is next. But first, we're going to take a break and remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing torque and horsepower, doesn't need one. Guts, glory, Ram. And we are closing up shop here in the box scores FanDuel Draft Day. And don't forget you, that's right, you can also take on Dan and the Danettes in weekly fantasy football. Just go to FanDuel.com and enter the promo code Patrick for a 100% deposit match up to $200 on new accounts, $5 to enter, and winners get instant cash as soon as the contest ends. Fritzy, the last time you called out Dan, you lit a fire under the boss. He's tapered off a bit since. Is it time to stoke that fire?
It is. I continue to not believe in what Dan's trying to sell. I think he's very sneaky when it comes to all season long. You know, I know he won a couple of times, but for the most part, he's been on the bottom. I think he likes to pretend and wants us to think that he's giving no thought to it, just rushing through it at the last minute. But I think he's very calculated, and I'm going to predict, without even seeing his lineup yet, that he's going to finish no better than 4th place in Week 15.
Oh,
Wow.
And I will finish 3rd.
Well, DP is in desperate need of a pick-me-up, so let's see who will lift his spirits, turn that frown upside down. Dan, give us your lineup.
All right, here's the roster for this week, Week 15 of the NFL season. I'm going with Russell Wilson. Mike Pettin said he wasn't on that upper-tier elite quarterback, and he's probably being truthful there. He feels that way. Russell's played better than all those other quarterbacks he was mentioning in the last month. Tim Hightower, who hadn't scored since 2011, I was convinced that I want to have Tim Hightower in there. Duke Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, who got shut down against the Patriots, Alshon Jeffrey, Golden Tate, Vernon Davis. I'm taking chances on Vernon Davis and Tim Hightower. Adam Vinatieri, I put him in there as well. I just don't think this team can score touchdowns. And the Bengals defense with A.J. McCarron as the quarterback. That's the lineup. In fact, Tim Hightower is such a mystery, I couldn't even find a picture of him. So that's him right there. And that's the lineup, Week 15.
You have no idea. Tim Hightower, I lost 2 nights of sleep on Tim Hightower. Should I put Tim Hightower in? No, I eventually picked Jeremy Hill because I was $100. Hightower was at 63, I think, and Jeremy Hill was at 6,000. So I like Dan's pick right
Is that
now.
lineup going to crack 80?
McLovin, ooh, Fritzy just mentioned.
Dude, he could win.
Now, is Dan acting like he didn't know that Duke Johnson is on Cleveland and not David Johnson, the running back for
He just
the
wanted
Cardinals?
to see if we were paying attention.
Fair enough.
So sneaky.
Is his nickname Duke? Like David Duke Johnson? They
That's
call
why
him
he goes by David, and
The
he's
Duke.
actually really pissed. He's just like, first of all, okay, I was known as the Duke first.
All right. Maybe Dan's got
And now this
inside
other
info.
Duke came in.
All right, was he also
More
aware
like
that,
Dookie.
that DeAndre Hopkins' season is going straight down like this, and Vernon Davis can't do
forgot how to
anything in
catch a
Denver?
ball, huh?
Yeah. But hey, I like that pick of Alshon Jeffrey.
Anyone think he'll finish higher than 4th?
No.
No.
I do. I like his team. Hightower Johnson's a strong running back combo.
I didn't know Hightower is an NFL player.
Yeah.
Paulie,
He's also in Police Academy, so you got to remember that, bro.
Paulie, literally everyone in America. Suddenly I turned into Chris Law, for God's sakes. Paulie, literally everyone in America. What happened to my voice? Throw me that water bottle, for God's sake. Well, die.
What the hell just happened to Brock? I can't
Are you having an issue? If this is a new imitation, I love it.
What's the
the
mother
poll
from Pro
question
Mama?
today.
Is this your new character?
Owen doesn't have any friends.
Harvey Firestein, what are you doing?
I just want to be loved. Is
Shooked
that
up
so
host, new
much?
character for the box score? Going out with a bang? What are you doing here?
I just want to be loved. Is that so much? All right, before I die, let's go. Seton, you tell me who's going to win this whole thing this week.
I am.
Well, there you
Me.
go.
I'm going to win
I
this
like
week.
that.
Your doctor's going to win because you're going to go there for about 5 visits to get those polyps taken care of.
All right, well, it's time for me to pick which Danet I think is going to come out on top this week. And before I die, I'm going to go with Fritzy because he sent me a holiday card. Fritzy, quickly, who's on Dan Patrick Show tomorrow?
He should send you a lozenge.
A lodging.
As quick as I can be.
Ricola. You got it all? Oh, fantastic. All right, thanks for watching the Box Score FanDuel Draft Day. You can watch the Danettes make their selections in a very special draft day next Wednesday. If I'm alive, I'll watch it myself. Right here in audience. The podcast is available on iTunes. All right, we're done. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!